What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today, we are going to be talking about the medal exchange. We finally have an update as to what the anniversary month of Treasure Cruise is going to have for us for our medal exchange. Now, this is an interesting one. I wasn't expecting a lot of these characters on this list. The characters that I was expecting to come didn't actually show up, like Legend Kizaru or Corazon. Like, Corazon specifically, I felt like should have probably been here, but he's not here yet, which is weird because he's one of those older characters that everyone would love to get, but he's just not here yet. But in this video today, I want to go through every single one of these characters and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on whether or not they're worth the amount of points that they are worth, right? Well, it's not really points, it's technically Sugo medals, but massive shout out to my man Lord for creating this very small infographic so we can go ahead and talk about it all for you guys. Right, so let's start off with the top. Let's go from top to bottom. Let's start things off. Shanks Crew. I do have the database up on the side here, so we can talk about any specific characters if we need to, but I have to say this straight off the bat. If you do not have the Red Hair Pirates, Shanks Crew, and you have 400 medals, buy this unit. However, something to note is that, you know, we do have a lot of time to purchase these characters. So, potentially what you can do is wait until the Anniversary Sugo Fest, do your pulls, because Shanks Crew probably will be on one of the parts, right? Do your pulls on the anniversary, see what you get, and then if you don't get them after that, then potentially purchase them, because you could purchase them now, and then on the Anniversary Sugo Fest, you might pull them again, right? So the best thing to do is until you actually need the unit, or until the end of the month, is when you probably should purchase these units. But I gotta say, Shanks Crew for 400 medals, definitely worth it. If Shanks Crew was even like 500, 600 medals, definitely worth it. He is way too good. You need to purchase this character if you do not have him. I gotta say that. You gotta get this unit. Just out of these four, he's the best. He's the best unit here on this listing for sure. Then you got Arlong Crew. It's like, no, do not purchase this character for 400 medals. This character really isn't worth 400 medals. This character is definitely a 250 medal point tier. And then we've got Nami Robin, who, I don't know, Nami Robin are a difficult one to place for me because, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this unit. I understand what they tried to go for, but I really just don't enjoy using this character at all. I do use them sometimes, but it's the main thing with their switch effect. The switch effect is pretty unique, where it just empties slots and you can store them and then bring them back later. But I just do not like using this unit. They are a Dex and Int captain. I guess if you're lacking a really good Dex and Int captain, potentially you could get this unit up. 25% health cut, 2.5 orb boost for those two typings, 10 turn paralysis reduction. It's nice, right? This unit is good. Plus, it's a Nami and a Robin, which means you can add some really good supports to this unit. But I can't really suggest you guys to pick up Nami Robin when Shanks Crew is right here, unless if you already have Shanks Crew. Then yeah, I think purchasing Nami Robin might be worth it. But again, if you already have, like, you know, Legend Kaido, Legend Kid, or any of the Int super type characters, you probably don't need Nami Robin. I'm just saying that. You probably don't need this unit. And then you got Pudding. Now, Pudding also is another one that's kind of interesting because I actually have been using her a lot more recently than when she first came out. Like, this unit, honestly, is just getting better and better over time. When she first came out, she was just pretty useless. You didn't really need her for content, but as time has progressed, she's actually been more and more valuable. So, for those of you who don't know what she does really good orb manipulation, and then she reduces cooldowns, and she will store a buff on herself. So, if you've got an attack boost, you can store that and then use it later, because after you store a buff, her special becomes maxed again, and when you launch her special again, the buff that you stored will be restored. So it's a really unique effect, and when you launch the special to restore the buff, it doesn't like activate enemy interrupts. It's pretty broken. Also, she resists special bind and special reverse by 10 turns on herself. Like, just having a unit like this in your arsenal is way too good, just in those very niche circumstances. Plus, she's Int, and there's really good Int legends in the game now, so I do think that, you know, Pudding is a very good unit to select, but then again, as I said, Shanks Crew's right here. Why would you pick up Pudding or Nami Robin when you've got Shanks Crew? I mean, the only reason you would do that is if you already have Shanks Crew. So, look, again, this is probably one you'd probably want to wait until the end of the month and then decide then, or until you need them for content. Like, if there's something that comes out this month and you really wish you had Nami Robin, or you really wish you had Pudding, then maybe you should do it. But as I said, if you don't have Shanks Crew, that is the #1 target to get here. So moving down from that, we got the 250 points here. We've got Big Mom and Whitebeard and Marco. Big Mom, no, do not purchase this unit. This unit is terrible. I mean, the only thing I use Big Mom for is for her stat boosting support. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's 10% of her attack gets added to the unit. I believe it's 10%. Yeah, it is. 10% of her base attack to any strength dex or quick unit. And her attack is pretty high. Yeah, 2,095, and that's with expansion. I mean, 1,895 just with candy. She's going to be 2,095, and that's going to be giving you, you know, 210 nearly additional attack. That's really, really strong. But that's the only thing I use her for. Is it worth spending 250 medals on a stat boosting support? No, not really. And then you go wipe into Marco. Now, if you guys have seen the Halloween Crocodile event, you guys would have seen the new debuff, the hunger debuff. And the only way to get around it is by consuming recovery slots. And what did this character do? Well, every time you switch, they give themselves a recovery slot, and every time you use their special, they shuffle your orbs. I think it's either, is it Int, Psi, and Recovery? I'm pretty sure it is, right? It's been a while since I've actually used wipe into Marco. God damn, that's embarrassing. I'm pretty sure it's Int... Yeah, Int, Psi, and Recovery. Yeah, so this shuffles them around. So if you are finding the hunger debuff to be a problem, then wipe into Marco is an option. But then again, look, we are getting Luffy Sanji very soon, which that unit is basically centered around getting around the hunger debuff. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth picking up. Again, just wait until the end of the month, potentially, if you're missing some of these units. Wipe into Marco, when they first released, were the best legend in the game, probably. But as time has progressed, they've just gotten a little bit weaker in terms of their multipliers, because, like, the captain ability is kind of mid, just when you look at it in general, and their special doesn't really give you too much offensively, and it's not very good defensively. It's just like an orb manipulation, a health cut, and a very minor heal. It's pretty mid, but they have a good switch effect. Their switch effect is kind of what saves them. Okay, so the mid tier is unfortunate because there's not really too many good ones here, but then you got the 150 point tier. There are lots of decent units here. Inuarashi, obviously a beast in Pirate Rumble. He does a lot of damage when you use his special, and he's a slasher unit. He works very, very well with the slashers. The problem here is that there are already so many good slashers in the game, on Pirate Rumble anyways, that you're probably never going to use this character over like Roger, Odin, Doflamingo, Kizaru, like those type of units. You probably don't need Inuarashi on those teams. Obviously, before Roger and Odin, this character was a main unit on slasher teams, but obviously, because we have so many powerful units now, you just don't need this character at all. And this unit in just regular content isn't that good either. He's a cerebral captain. There's plenty of other better cerebral captains in the game. I mean, Shanks Crew is a cerebral unit as well. Like, you need a cerebral captain, just use Shanks Crew, right? So yeah, Inu is not a good choice. Akainu, though, is pretty awesome. And again, he's one of those units that, I mean, he's okay, but a lot of people nowadays just use him for his support effect. He's got great artwork as well, but his special ability is full board of strength and 2 times attack to strength. Captain ability is all strength related. So I guess if you have like what's his face, Odin, if you want to build like a really good strength team, this guy works really well with them. But then again, so do the sweet commanders, which are coming out very, very soon. But this unit with his sailor effect, support effect should I say, any strength unit he attaches to, when you use a damage dealing or health cutting special, so you need to attach it to a strength unit that does a damage dealing or health cutting special, which isn't too difficult. But it changes all orbs into strength and gives you a 1.5 attack boost to strength for 1 turn. I can't tell you how many times I've used this effect. This is so useful. And it's not even just the attack boost. Like, that kind of doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that you can get a full board of strength orbs, and then you can manipulate them from there. And remember, freaking, what's his face? Odin just changes any matching orb that you have, or is it any strength orb? Yeah, any strength orb becomes a Wano slot. So this guy is amazing. And if you want to be utilizing Kozuki Odin to the best of your ability, this is a character you probably want to have in your character box. Do I think he's worth 150 medals? Well, I think he kind of is, but, I mean, let's have a look at the rest of the list first. Kung Fu Luffy, no, you probably don't need this unit. Like, personally speaking, you don't need this unit. This unit is fun, and, I mean, shout out to Godot, because I know Godot is a huge fan of Kung Fu Luffy. Until this guy gets a 6+, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, look, he might get a god tier 6+. I think if they did give him a 6+, they could really, really make him broken. But no, not right now. He's not that good right now. I would say avoid Kung Fu Luffy. We got Crocodile as well. I would highly advise to avoid this Crocodile as well. He is just not good. I mean, when he first came out, it was pretty broken, but not right now. No, he's bad. 150 points for Luffy and Ace. Now, this, I think, is the most interesting one. Because Luffy and Ace is not that good now. When you really look at Luffy and Ace and what he does on paper, he is pretty bad. He is severely outdated. However, once again, with a 6+, he could legit be one of the better units in the game. So I would say if you are missing Luffy and Ace, I would say it's not that bad to pick up Luffy and Ace with 150 medals. I think that's kind of a bargain, because as I said, if they get a 6+ in the future, they could be pretty freaking good. But look, I have to say this as well. This is a unit that I haven't used in years. I'm talking legitimate years I haven't used this unit for. So I don't think I do not think it's worth picking up for 150 points, but I gotta say, I had to put it out there that if they get a 6+, they could be really broken. Cruzan, this is actually another unit that sees a lot of play in Pirate Rumble. Let me go ahead and pull him up. I don't think his Rumble abilities are on the database, but I will just have a look. This is his 6+, of course. And yeah, they're not, unfortunately. But he does AoE fixed damage, and he can potentially action bind your enemies. Of course, you know, Roger and Odin can avoid action bind, but I'm just saying, you know, this is still a really, really good unit. It just kind of sucks, though, in regular content. His captain ability is pretty bad. And his special ability is okay, but it is a little outdated. Increases attack or orb boost by 1 turn, so it's very similar to, you know, like Smoker's super type. And then also locks your chain at 2.5 for 1 turn, and there's 100k fixed damage that goes through all defensive effects. It's pretty good. Like, it's a good special, but it's nothing crazy. Like, it's 150 medals, and he's a very old unit. Do I think it's worth it? No. I just don't. I can't really suggest it. I just don't use him often enough to warrant that. We got Neko next. Neko is actually pretty good, Cat Viper, because he is another unit that sees a lot of play as a support. So if we go over to his support effect, attaches to Chopper, Inu, or Pedro. Once per adventure, when you get inflicted with bind or attack down, you just reduce it by 2 turns. So I think that in terms of just a support effect, yeah, this is probably worth picking up. But one thing to note is that he only supports these 3 characters. There aren't that many good choppers in the game. I mean, you got like Legend Chopper, and like, that's kind of it. I mean, there are a couple of other ones like Chobro, I guess. There are a couple of decent choppers, but most of the time, yeah, like Legend Chopper is going to be your go-to for that. Like Inu, like there aren't that many great Inus in the game. I mean, the Inu that came out with Roger and Odin is pretty good. Colosseum Inu is actually pretty good as well. Those are the 2 best ones that come to my mind. And then Legend Inu basically is never used for content. And then for Pedro, I mean, you could probably use like limited Recruit Pedro. I think there's actually a new Pedro that will be coming out with the anniversary as well, with the whole Luffy and Sanji batch. There is like a, let me just double check. There's like a free-to-play Pedro that I know definitely comes out, Pedro, and he's a strength unit. Yeah, this guy right here. So this guy comes out with the anniversary. I think he's free-to-play. Does it say where you get him from? Drop locations. Yeah, so he's a Chopper mission reward. Okay, so what does he do? He has a special ability of damage to all enemies, reduces increased defense by 4, attack down despair by 4, block empty badly matching on strength and psi into matching. That's a very good special. And support effect to Carrot and Brook. When you're inflicted with attack down or despair, reduce attack down despair by 2 turns. Wow, this unit is awesome. This unit is hella good. And I mean, this is a free-to-play unit that's coming out. So look, you know, this Neko support could potentially be very useful. So 150 medals for him, I think, is pretty good. And then you got Shanks. This unit, I do not suggest buying. Hody, I do not suggest buying. And then Fujitora, no, I'm not going to extensively discuss these units, because these units are just, they're never used. They're just not used anymore. I mean, Hody, maybe. I mean, does Hody have the special reverse thing with his sailor? I think he does, but I need to double check. I think he does. Yeah, okay, his special cooldown's reduced by 2 turns when it's rewinded. That's actually pretty good, actually, because, yeah, he can reduce the cooldown of powerhouse characters and give you damage reduction. Like, that's okay. 150 medals for him is fine, I suppose. But you gotta think, like, specifically if you're, like, mainly free-to-play, you're not gonna have too many medals to spend. So, I think that you really need to invest your medals in the right place. Now, personally, I only see 3 characters, maybe 4 characters that I would purchase. Actually, maybe 5, right? The only ones that I think from this list are super duper worth it: Shanks Crew, Nami Robin, maybe Pudding, maybe White Bin Marco. But I think the support of Akainu and the support of Neko are definitely worth it. So the ones that I think definitely: Shanks Crew, Akainu, and Neko. I think those 3 in particular are just wicked units, because those are units that I use a lot in terms of their supports or just units in general. I think Luffy and Ace is a sleeper pick, because he could get a 6+ in the future that would be awesome. I don't know if he does or not. 100% I do not know. Trust me, I don't know if he gets one in the future, but if he does, he could be great. Whitebeard Marco could potentially be useful, and you got Pudding and Nami Robin, who are pretty decent units. But again, as we've said, you gotta wait until the end of the month, towards the end of the month, after you do anniversary pulls, and then see what happens from there, because you may pull some of these units along the way if they're going to be on the banner. But that's going to wrap up this video today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you guys learned something about all of these characters in the medal exchange. And, you know, if you don't have Shanks Crew, that's an easy pick. You got to get Shanks Crew if you don't have him. But that's going to wrap up this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.